This is an official endorsement of its pronouns by local they, he, Tyler, silly, pretty boy, last name redacted. No limitations apply.
And now, as always, we'll round out the show with me reacting to some unhinged LGBT TikToks and trying not to lose too many brain cells as I suffer for your entertainment. Up first, are it pronouns now a thing?
I personally have never met someone that uses its pronouns. And I know that a lot of people stigmatize its pronouns because it sounds like dehumanizing or it's weird. But the other day I heard someone referring to someone else with its pronouns. And it occurred to me that its is the kind of language that we use for like really cute animals. Like when we see a stray black cat, we say, oh my God, look at it, it's so cute. Or if we see like a bunny mama with its babies, we're like, oh, look at it with its little babies. And I hope this sounds supportive and not infantilizing, but this person was talking about how it wasn't feeling good and it was being like bullied by someone. And I felt very protective. I was like, you stay away from that little bunny or I'm gonna you bitch.
Oh.
Anyway, I wish everyone with neo pronouns a very good night and a little kiss on the forehead and a scratch on the tummy. This is an official endorsement of its pronouns by local they, he, Tyler, silly, pretty boy, last name redacted. No limitations apply.
I love how this individual was like, I know some people say it's dehumanizing to call somebody it/its, but we do it for cute, fluffy animals. Babe, you do know what dehumanizing means, don't you? And I'm sorry, but you don't get to destroy and rewrite our language. It refers to a thing, and a thing in this context is definitionally not a person. I personally wouldn't want to participate in calling someone it/its because it does feel like I'm dehumanizing them or referring to them like they're an object and not a human being. Well, instead of trying to convince people to use those pronouns and go along with it, which I'm sorry, Cupcake, it's just never going to happen, you should look internally and try to figure out what it is exactly that makes you feel affirmed or more comfortable when people dehumanize you. My heart goes out to you, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or make fun of you, but I would suggest that that's something internal that you should try to rectify or think about or reconcile within yourself. Personally, I won't be participating in this exercise, and I also resent it being tied to me being gay or to the LGBT community and our legitimate, actual identities that we just want to live our lives and be left alone. I do resent it being tied to this extreme and unhealthy approach. If you're anything like me, it probably freaks you out how much information there is about you on the internet. Personally, I didn't realize just how quickly and easily people could find my address with a quick Google search. That's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. Aura found 18 sites that were publicizing and selling my private data and information and is helping me put a stop to it. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use this information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. And Aura does even more than all that to protect me from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up, and best of all, I get it all at an amazing price. And you should too. Go to www.aura.com/Polumbo, Polumbo, and get yourself some peace of mind and privacy today. Again, you can go to aura.com/Polumbo, which is linked in the description, to start your 14-day free trial today and support my content at the same time. Up next, the alphabet people continue to struggle with this whole consistency thing.
Wait, you're trans? I thought you were non-binary. Well, technically non-binary is under the trans umbrella, so... Oh, so what exactly is trans then? Trans is basically anybody that doesn't identify with the sex that they were born with. Oh, I see. But not all non-binary people identify with the term trans, so it just depends on the person. Okay, so it's a bit more broad, like an umbrella. Umbrella.
Babe, you're incoherent. You really need to make up your mind. Is non-binary part of trans? Or does each non-binary person get to decide whether they're trans or not? Because it can't be both if your goal is to make any sense. I mean, imagine this. Let's use a false hypothetical, right? Imagine if I told you that Puerto Rico is part of America, but that not all Puerto Ricans are Americans. Would you see how nonsensical that is? Honestly, sometimes I have a hard time discussing or reacting to these people because it seems like they haven't even figured out what they're trying to say yet. So, how am I supposed to comprehend and analyze their arguments? Up next, this trans influencer thinks that dress codes don't apply to them.
So I am fucking and I need you all to tell me if I'm being unreasonable.
Oh.
So I got pulled into the office today at work for wearing this shirt. Now, this shirt is definitely against the dress code, but hear me out.
Oh?
Every Sunday, we're allowed to wear a football jersey. And not just any football jersey, it has to be a Patriots jersey. Now, I have worn a Bucs jersey, I've worn a Chargers jersey, I've worn a Rams jersey, I've worn every jersey but the Patriots jersey, and it's never been a problem. So in honor of Transgender Remembrance Day, I decided that I would wear this instead, knowing that I'm bending the rules a bit, but bending the rules for dress code has never been an issue before until now. They never cared when I was wearing the wrong football jersey, but wearing this anti-hate trans pride shirt, that's the line apparently. Now, I very calmly made it clear how important wearing this shirt was today, but no, they made me cover it up. I stormed off to my goddamn car and I nearly drove off right then and there. But I didn't. I stayed, kept my job, did not get myself fired. Am I being unreasonable here? I always bend the dress code rules. It's never been a problem. Until now. Am I being unreasonable?
First things first, shout out to my producer who's going to have to do a lot of bleeping for me to discuss this video. But secondly, I'm just sick of alphabet people thinking that because of their identity, they get to play by their own special different rules. I mean, you literally admitted that what you tried to wear doesn't comply with your work's dress code. Yet you're complaining and acting like you're a victim because you're not allowed to wear it at work. You're going to have to make that one make sense for me, babe, because the math isn't mathing. And I get it that they have an exception to the dress code for jerseys on Sunday, but there's a world of difference between wearing a sports jersey and wearing some sort of political, radical activist attire. It's actually kind of a big difference, assuming that you have some sort of customer-facing job, because I can completely understand why a business or an employer wouldn't want some sort of political slogan, whether it was, pro-trans or anti-trans or one way or the other, wouldn't want you blasting that out to customers and potentially making them feel like isolated or expressing a divisive message or anything. Like, just keep that out of the workplace. That seems like a reasonable enough rule to have. Also, how do people post on TikTok like this and just get away with it without getting fired? It's honestly kind of shocking to me, because if I ran a business and I saw one of my employees popping off and cussing me out like this publicly, they'd be getting a pink slip the next day.
You're fired.
Honestly, instead of whining about a t-shirt, maybe you should just be thankful that you still have a job. Up next, this kind of stuff floats around TikTok and reaches countless impressionable young people, and when we watch it, you'll see why I find that really concerning.
What are hormone blockers and how do they affect your body? Well, I'm glad you asked. Hormone blockers are a series of injections and or an implant that you can have put in your arm that temporarily pauses puberty.
Oh, what do you mean temporarily pauses puberty?
For people assigned male at birth, puberty blockers will decrease facial hair and body hair growth, prevent your voice from getting deeper, and will limit eggplant growth. And for people assigned female at birth, hormone blockers will prevent boobie growth and getting your period. No more periods. Ay! However, once you stop taking puberty blockers, your body will then go into puberty, and that's why it's only temporary.
This is yikes for me, folks. A lot of the information discussed here is really not accurate. I mean, it's not, in fact, reversible if you do puberty blockers and then hormone therapy and never have some of this development occur. It's not reversible or temporary, actually. But more broadly, it is really irresponsible to go on a platform with millions of impressionable young people where you have all these followers and then basically advertise or try to convince or sell the benefits and how wonderful it is of a medication when you are not, in fact, a doctor, or pharmacist, or anybody qualified to actually assess the risks and benefits of this kind of medication. And there's something particularly gross about the way that this person talks about how it'll stop you from having a period. Yeah, woo! Like, my female followers will have to chime in and let me know what they think, but I'm just imagining an impressionable young girl who's just started having her period and is really suffering, seeing this kind of scientifically misleading and inaccurate content saying like, look, you don't have to have a period. You can take this medicine and you can go like around this path and you can get out of this terrible experience. Like, you're not a doctor. You should not be trying to lure in kids to take a medication with promises that their negative experiences will go away. It strikes me as really, really inappropriate and bizarre and a wildly irresponsible use of your platform. But TikTok will allow this kind of stuff all day and just ban people like me who have the common sense to criticize it. Make it make sense. I can't. All right, guys, that's all the LGBT TikTok I can handle in one sitting without incurring permanent brain damage. If you got a kick out of this, you enjoyed watching me suffer, don't forget to hit that like button, comment with your thoughts, and maybe even consider subscribing and sticking around. And with that, I'll see you all next week. But if you want more of my content, you can go here or here to check out other videos you might just enjoy.